Welcome to the Aliveness Habit, refreshing conversations with everyday masters of aliveness. This is a series, a conversation series dedicated to exploring the full rapture of aliveness, what it means to each of us, and how we can feel more alive in our everyday lives. And I have a very special guest with me today. I go on the hunt. I go on the hunt for people that's that spark me. And when I find them, I'm like, let's talk, let's chat. And so Kathleen Booker is here with us today, and I am so excited because Kathleen is a friend, and we also share spaces out in the world in our professional lives. And she is a breathwork coach, and I have been on the receiving end of her beautiful work. And it is really, truly spectacular. It does awaken the wow within. So yeah, it does. And so I'm just so thrilled to have you here. Thank you for agreeing to take a few minutes to chat and explore. And I'd love to dive in and see what your experience of aliveness is and how you cultivate and sustain that for yourself. So first of all, thank you for being here, Kathleen.
Well, I am deeply honored for the invitation, truly, and I'm very happy to sit at the table in this fashion with you and to just be in sisterhood with all that you are creating in the world. I honor you. Thank you. There's always something happening in whatever the time we're in. There's always something happening. And in this moment and in the next moment and in the moment after that, what you are doing here, what you are creating here will be quite profound and beneficial to everyone who watches. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. What a beautiful frame. I appreciate that. So I would love to kick off our chat with the question, what does aliveness mean to you?
You know, it's very interesting that you ask me that question in this right now moment. Um, my baby, Stella Bella, my baby has fur and 4 legs. Um, I is getting older, and I just had a conversation with because of course for my cats, yes, I'm that girl. Everything for my fur babies, absolutely everything. I mean, as soon as I finish here, I'm going to order something for her that's going to, help her out. But I have all of everything. She's got a nutritionist, I got a laser for her. But from the vet, I got some news that's not really, it doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. And in fact, quite honestly, right before this, I'd say 15 minutes, I was sobbing my eyes out because life goes.
Mm.
So it's interesting to have this conversation about aliveness
Mm.
as my heart, my little Stella Bella, is not doing good. And with my good intentions and the mountain of love, the outcome I want is not going to be an outcome
Mm.
that's going to happen.
Mm.
And as you ask this question, I get the depth of my love for
Mm.
my baby. And that love is a love that is so profound and so strong that it's giving me in this moment the courage to breathfully stay present and be present with my baby. Not to think of, TikTok. However, to be here fully present with her and to be present for the joy of being present with my baby who is alive. So, what is aliveness? Aliveness is love. Aliveness is breath. aliveness is for me, to be breathfully present with what I don't want, yet to also be able to sit with, okay, here we are. Let me take a breath, because if I sit here, it doesn't support me or anyone. However, I won't deny that this thought is here because that doesn't support me. However, as I choose to breathe and the breath supports me to be present in this moment, I'm able to sit like this and to be present. The breath for me just really aligns me with the all there is. God, if that doesn't work for you, fill in what does. To really sit in the truth of me, the power of me, my inner never leaving me power pack, that place of unconditional love, that connectedness with all there is, limitlessness, infiniteness. That's aliveness.
Wow. Thank you for that. I'm feeling into all of that. And I'm also very sorry about Stella.
I know, my baby. My baby.
Um,
Here
and
though, you know.
yeah, she's here, and it is actually very telling because when you first shared that with me before we jumped on, I was like, oh, should we reschedule, right? Should we not do this now because you are maybe distracted or there's something else pulling for your attention? And so, what strikes me about this moment is that the way that you're describing aliveness in this moment is exactly what life is. This is exactly what it is. Something comes in and we don't like it, or we make us feel unpleasant in some way, and we just want to turn away. And we're like, well, let's just put it over here. And we
Yeah.
can, and we don't really turn toward it. And so when you speak so beautifully around this, is this idea also of acceptance, like this space of acceptance that we can also connect to in our love and in our breath, where we just accept it all. And we just
Now, I want to be clear because I will have my moments where I'm like, what the mother, you know, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So I don't want to deny my moments when I do forget because I'm human. I'm having a human experience when I forget and just become bereft. I'm going to allow myself that because that is a part of the process. For me, anything other than that is like, well, I'm just going to bury it. And I know that doesn't support me. That doesn't support my highest and greatest good. So I share with all those who are watching, if you have that moment where you're like, oh man, what the, have it. Have it. It's a part of the process. It really is a part of the process. And it is my breath really that will enable me and lovingly hold me, swaddle me to remember, okay, boo-boo, let's remember the truth of who you are. It doesn't take away from the fact that of course I'm going to be sad. Of course, who wants someone they love to be in pain or to leave? I mean, let's be real. And that is life. So when you have those moments, it's okay. Be kind and gentle to yourself. And I want to follow that up if I may, Alexandra. Let us, notice I include myself, let us not hold ourselves to try and control our every eyelash move, eyebrow move, although right now mine won't move because I got them lacquered down with mascara, but that's a whole nother conversation. And I just to bring fun, because you do need fun and you do need to laugh. There are going to be moments, where it's not going to go the way that we want to go, which is the universe telling us, wait a minute,
Mm.
take a breath. You are not in charge.
Mm.
Take a breath, connect with the all there is, the limitlessness, source, the one, the penultimate of unlimited love. And remember that you rest in the flow of all of that, and that you are that, that it is you.
Mm.
And it makes putting your left foot and then your right foot and then your left foot, it makes that a scooch,
Mm.
dare I say, I put it in quotes,
Mm.
easier. And I don't know if you can hear Stella. I'm hoping that she stays upstairs.
You're talking about me.
No.
About me. Uh, yes, it's beautiful. I'm curious for people, who are might be listening here and going like, how do I access that breath? Like, what do I do in that space? That
You
feels
know, to
so.
to to be that empowered and that awake to say, how do I access it? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here comes Stella Bella. Yes, Mama. Do you want to say hello?
She does.
Do you want to say hello? Come. Come, boo boo. Come. Excuse me. This is how you know. Come, Mama. Come,
Stella
Mama.
needs to be part of this conversation.
Come, Mama.
There she is.
Say
Hey,
hello. Say hello. Say hello.
if you're talking about me, I need to be here. Feel. Oh.
Okay, Mama, but you do have to be quiet because Stella can chat a while. Um, just to have the awareness and the willingness to say, well, how do I get some of that for myself? You're light years
Mhm.
ahead of where you think you aren't. You really are light years ahead of where you are. And I hope that that is really very clear. Just become aware of your breath. Breathe through your nose. As I work with my groups, either corporate groups or workshops I do or private individuals, our breath speaks. So, I know when you need to breathe through your mouth. However, I'm telling you watching right now, if you're wondering, well, how do I get there? Just inhale and exhale through your nose. The beauty of it all is that you've been breathing. Yay. Because if
Okay.
you weren't, that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
Um, so just the desire and the willingness, pay attention to your breath. And I'm hoping, Alexandra, that we do get to do a little bit of breath work before I go. Just notice it and breathe, inhale and exhale through your nose. And the beautiful thing about that, scientifically and medically speaking, not that I'm a doctor, however, when we begin to be aware, consciously aware of our breath, we cease the fight, flight, or freeze that we can go into as cortisol is just flowing through our body, and we can begin to hyperventilate. You can go into a panic attack. I mean, so many things, right? When you just take a moment and go, well, okay, all right, there's my inhale. There's my exhale. And there's no place special you have to be. You don't have to go to a mountaintop or anything. Just take that moment to be aware. And what you're doing, you are releasing cortisol from your body, that fight or flight, which causes your heart to race, your blood pressure to go up. And you are increasing good feeling endorphins. You're activating your parasympathetic system. You are getting your vagus nerve, which runs from here all the way down to the top of your hips. You're getting your vagus nerve on board. And so your body, your organs, all of your systems, all of them just begin to slow down a little bit. Now, It could be that you're in a situation, and let's take me when I was sideswiped by an 18-wheeler. You might have to take a few breaths, and that's okay. And that brings me back to, you want to get down, Mama? Okay. That brings me back to be kind and gentle to yourself. If you have to take a few breaths, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Be kind and gentle to yourself. This day and age, people are extremely impatient and want things right away. It may not always go that way for you. So if you have to take another breath, a second breath, or a third breath, which is good because you want to be able to keep breathing, do so. You are slowing your heart rate. You are increasing the creation of good feeling endorphins in your body. You are also creating new neural pathways in your brain so that if you're in this situation again, you're creating a new memory, a new habit. Your breath will just click in and you will just automatically. You're doing so many good things for your body, for your life, for yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And again, I'm going to jump in here again, be kind and gentle to yourself, because it took us a minute to get here. So creating that new habit may take a second or two. So be kind to yourself. If you have to, remember again. Good. Okay. Okay. Practice makes perfect.
Beautiful. I'm curious as you speak. I'm just curious. Is there a difference between just breathing and breathing for vitality?
It's all the same breath and yes. No and yes. Breath is breath. Breath is life.
Mm.
I mean, if you're not breathing, it's a whole different story. So there's vitality in every breath. Yes. Can we breathe in more joy? Absolutely. Can we breathe in more self-confidence? Absolutely. Can we breathe in the book, the business, the abundance, the prosperity? Yes. I mean, our inhalation, our breath is everything. It's the alpha and the omega. It's everything. So when we give a little bit of our attention to it, the breath will create its own rhythm. And it will just begin to breathe you. So, case in point.
Yeah. So I'm curious, would you say then that breathing for vitality, all those things that you share, is there an intentionality behind the breathing that
I don't want to pigeonhole the power of the breath, because
Hmm.
someone might be in the throes of a panic attack, and a long breath ain't forthcoming. In that moment, I know a long breath is not forthcoming. It's not. Just being able, if you do indeed experience panic attacks, just remembering, wait a minute, my breath is still here. That will get you to the point where your breath does begin to lengthen. Your inhales lengthen, your heart rate will stop racing and will normalize. And if someone is in a breathwork session with me, and it depends upon what spirit has brought into the picture. Let me give you an example. A client of mine who is a C-suite individual and feeling a lot of the pressure that many corporations are feeling in this moment. Not that employees aren't feeling it, we all are. And still wanting to experience the joy of life,
Mm,
even with the I need that report as of yesterday,
mm,
or the 29 employees being out, or the oh my God, this report went out and these two numbers are reversed. Holy crap, it's going to, the board, whatever it could be. And because wherever you are, there you are. And still finding joy within yourself. If you enjoy what you're doing, joy in what you're doing. So in our session, that sort of came up because a big meeting was coming up for this individual. And through us just going through the breath and the surrender on her part, as as we let go of the monkey mind
mm,
talking, that oh my God, I can't relax because I got to be here in a minute and I got to do this report. Letting that go and being present in this moment, we're creating new neural pathways, new habits. She was able to relax, and what came forward was just an old memory, because old memories, and I'm being a little cryptic because I want to keep the integrity of my work, because memories will come forward. Our past will come forward, and with the breath, it is an opportunity to remake them so that we're not living presently in the past. A memory came forward where someone had said something unkind that just sort of landed in the body.
mm,
And so the breath sort of presented this little noogie and said, okay, this doesn't serve our highest and
mm,
greatest good. It gets to go.
mm,
Because trauma,
mhm,
memories, all of that gets stuck in the body.
mm,
And this individual was able to breathe that out, and now it's an I'm not going to say a new person. I'm going to say a revitalized, a person who remembers the truth of who they are, that walked into that meeting a bad mofo because that's who they are. The other thing just put a shadow over them, a misbelief, doubt, worry, not enoughness. And the breath just said, no, no, no.
mm,
Let's remember the truth of who we are. Let's let go of this little noogie because it's time. Doesn't serve you, and it's not who you are. Go be who you are. I love A Course in Miracles. You know this.
yeah.
My absolute favorite lesson is love created me like itself. We could talk about that until the end of life. Love created me like itself. So when we remember that, the breath helps us remember the truth of who we are, and we live from our place of truth, our space of truth. Life is very, very different.
Mm,
It's not the doubt, the fear, the worry, the lack of confidence, the need to control. Nowhere around. You're
mm,
in the flow of the Most High.
mm, mm. I'm just letting that sink in. It's beautiful. What do you think is the biggest myth about breathing
Breathing,
yeah, that kind of prevents them from this experience that you're so beautifully describing, this surrender and this connection back to truth.
control.
Mm,
I don't want anything to come up that I can't handle.
mm,
You know, healing
yeah.
is not for the faint-hearted. You got to put a little bit of titanium on your intestines because there are places that you will see.
Mm. So would it be fair to say then that control kills aliveness? Our false or our our sense or perceived sense of need.
Right, our perceived sense, yes, our perceived. Well, I can out God God.
The
Nah,
gripping.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't, for me,
Mm,
I don't think so. Um, and control will have you block
mm,
that intuitive sense that we all have, that little voice that says turn left. And
mm,
you turn left and you meet this individual that just blows your shit up in a good way,
mhm.
in a good way. And you're like, thank goodness I turned left. But you turned left because you heard turn left when ordinarily you would turn right. I know best. I know best. That need to be right. Well, you spot it, you got it. I'm a control freak. I'm a finished work in progress, working on it constantly. And you listen, the breath has you slow down enough, allows it so that you slow down enough to hear, and the courage, and to remember that you have the courage within you to follow whatever you hear. Um,
Mm.
Even in our group, the more and more, quicker, quicker, faster, faster. Well, sometimes the way there is to sit down.
Mm.
Oh, and I just get an. Did you hear the wind? I don't know if you heard the wind. That is definitely a yeah. Say it, sister. Okay.
Exactly. Oh man. I can feel it.
Sometimes you have to sit down. It doesn't mean that need to control will have you running hither, thither, and there. How can you hear?
Mm.
How can you hear the little droplets of knowledge that we get? You all of a sudden you hear this.
Mm.
This March is going to be a really good month. It's going to be a really good month for you. So just know that. Now, the need to control is, how do I make that happen? What do I have to do? Well, if you hear that, the way has already been made, and that can be challenging to rest in.
Mm.
If you hear that, the way has already been made. Can you, now I'm not saying to sit on your hands. As you guys see, I have on a nice top and my sweats underneath. But it doesn't mean to sit on your hands. You still take action, right? But you don't have to sit there. What do I do? How do I get there? What's the map? Is it on my GPS? As I breathe, I let go of that need to control. I'll be able to hear. I'm still moving through life. I'm still doing what I need to do, right? I'm not just laid out. You still got to move your feet,
Right.
and allowing yourself the space and the quiet to hear. Okay, turn left. And as my mother would say, boom shakalaka, there you are. There's that guy that you meet. If this happens, when this happens to anybody, call me, let me know. I want that testimony.
You turn left and I turn left and like, wow, this is awesome. I think it's wonderful. And it really speaks to that idea that sometimes I hear that this breath, this experience of breath is supposed to just feel relaxing. It's supposed to relax me. It's supposed to be something that calms me. And it's like, well, yes, and sometimes being in the breath can be quite stirring, and there can be an experience in that that also requires you um to sit and to rest in that and to allow that to be. And we have such an interesting relationship with pain, don't we? We have an interesting relationship with things that are not pleasant. And it really, I think when you speak, that's sort of what really sits or what lands with me is this, that we can have an equal relationship with the pleasant and we can have one with the unpleasant. And when we do that with our breath, and we're able to gently and lovingly, as you say, just rest in all of it. It's when there's no longer a need to for it to be anything other than just exactly what it is in that moment.
To be
Um,
present with what is. And it takes courage. Sometimes to be present with what is, because our physical eyes see a total effed up mess. Our
Mm.
physical eyes.
We don't think we can
Um,
survive it, or we don't feel that we're able to, to
to
move.
control, to control. Course, the Tao Te Ching, verse 3, book 3, and Psalm 139. Psalm 139 says, before a single day had passed, every day of my life was written down. I took a little license on saying that. And book 3 of the Tao Te Ching says, before and after happen at the same time. So there's nothing that we experience that I believe, I feel, hasn't happened already. When you get that little droplet, that little nugget, that March is going to be fabulous for you. When you get that, it's already happened. So have a little trust,
That's
a
the
little faith.
little thing.
Breathe to allow yourself. And let me just come totally clean and be transparent. I'm in a situation like that right now where I have the divine opportunity, not with Stella Bella, with something else, to keep doing what I'm doing. However, trust
Mhm.
that what I heard, okay,
Mhm.
have I had moments of, how do I make that happen? Absolutely. And then I say, wait a minute.
Mhm. Mhm.
Allow it to come.
Mhm.
Because one of the things I know from my own experience and from the thousands of people I have worked with, when we allow it to come, to be in that flow, that shit is sweet. It it's sweet, it flows, and if there is a little whoop, that's all it is, a little whoop,
When we just come, it's a flow, right? It's like an up and
it's
a
flow.
an ebb and a flow. So can we try it a little bit? Would
Yes,
you take us through? Um, we'll keep it a little short and sweet.
yes.
But
Okay, so as long as you're not driving, please don't do this if you're driving. Come back to the replay if you are. As long as you're not driving, close your eyes, or if that doesn't feel safe for you, look at the tip of your nose. Uncross your arms, uncross your legs, and just allow your body, nothing you have to do. Allow your body to just begin to release a little bit of stress from your shoulders, your hips, your ankles. Even feel your lower belly just soften. And the breath that we're going to do is conscious connected breath work, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, unless I guide you otherwise. And the rhythm of the breath, or the flow of the breath, is that like a wave. A wave comes into shore and then it melds back into the ocean. It comes into shore and then melds back into the ocean. Your inhale flows into your exhale. Your exhale flows into your inhale. And I don't know if you heard it, but right there, the wind just blew. Stay with your breath and stay with your eyes, because whether you're watching live or on replay, that is for you also. Your inhale flows into your exhale. Your exhale flows into your inhale. And as you continue to breathe easily, your front ribs soften and relax, and you'll find that your inhalations just expand a bit. Your side ribs relax, making more space for your inhales, complete easy exhales. Your back ribs relax. Your inhale flows into your exhale. Your exhale flows into your inhale. Stay with your breath. Keep that breath going. And with that wind, remember when times feel like they are stagnant or standing still or not moving at the speed in which you would like, remember to stop, take a breath, and anchor into the remembrance and knowingness that there's always wind, energy at your back, not in a push, shove type of way. However, there is always a love-filled energy at your back, supporting you, propelling you, guiding you along your path. Open your mouth, take a breath in, easily let it go. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and lovingly open your eyes.
Where can we find more of these?
Well, go on my website, KathleenBooker.net, Kathleen with a K, KathleenB as in boy, OOKER.net. I have some really lovely breathwork sessions on my website, a 5-minute, 10-minute, and also a 30-minute one. And so check those out. And you can find me on Instagram. I am Kathleen Booker. Thank you, Alexandra.
Have that information is below right here, so you can go on and jump on and experience more of Kathleen's magic, and especially if you're in a space where it feels supportive and helpful, just to remind ourselves that breath is always with us, and it is our most steady companion of
Yeah.
all.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, C-suite or the mom or the dad who's raising the children or the person who is supporting a soup kitchen. We all need it. Nobody is going to make it by themselves. No one.
Thank you. Thank you. What an absolute joy to chat with you and to learn from you and to experience you. Thank you so, so much, Kathleen.
Thank you.